Decoding the Hidden Symbolism in the Book of Revelation. Part 1. Introduction, Sowing Seeds of Mystery. In the hushed reverence of flickering candlelight, as shadows dance and ancient dust motes gleam, we gather to confront one of the Bible's most enigmatic texts, the Book of Revelation. It is a book that has haunted and fascinated generations, a kaleidoscopic vision of beasts, dragons, celestial battles, and ultimate triumph. Yet, for many, Revelation remains an impenetrable fortress of strange imagery and terrifying prophecies, its true message obscured by layers of apocalyptic metaphor. Are we meant to take these visions literally, or do they whisper deeper truths through the language of symbol? Tonight, we embark on a profound journey, a careful descent into the heart of Revelation to unlock its hidden symbolism, to decipher the cosmic drama unfolding within its pages, and to reveal the enduring wisdom it holds for us today. Part 2. The Deep Dive, a Journey of Discovery. A. The historical and cultural context, Whispers from Patmos. To truly grasp the symbolism of Revelation, we must first transport ourselves to its crucible, the tumultuous late 1st century AD. It was a time of immense political and religious upheaval. The Roman Empire, then under the increasingly erratic and persecuting hand of Emperor Domitian, demanded absolute loyalty and worship, often viewing the burgeoning Christian movement as a dangerous, subversive cult. Christians faced ostracism, torture, and death for their refusal to worship the emperor and their allegiance to Christ alone. It is from this crucible of persecution that John, exiled on the rocky island of Patmos, receives his profound visions. This context is crucial because Revelation is not merely a fortune-telling manual. It is a profound message of hope and warning to the beleaguered churches of Asia Minor. It spoke to their immediate suffering, their temptations to compromise, and their desperate need for reassurance that God was still sovereign. The symbols, therefore, often carried dual meanings, a direct message to the contemporary audience, resonating with their lived experience of Roman power and paganism, and an eternal message about the nature of good and evil, sin and redemption. B. Decoding the Scripture, a language of living pictures. The very essence of Revelation lies in its symbolic language. It employs a rich tapestry of Old Testament imagery, Jewish apocalyptic literature, and Hellenistic motifs, transforming them into a powerful visual vocabulary. Let us peel back some of these layers. The beasts and the dragon. Perhaps the most striking symbols are the beasts from the sea and the earth, Revelation 13, and the great red dragon, Revelation 12. The dragon, unequivocally identified as that ancient serpent, who is the devil and Satan, represents the ultimate spiritual antagonist, the source of all evil. The beast from the sea, with its 7 heads and 10 horns, clearly evokes Daniel's prophecies, Daniel 7, and points to earthly political power that opposes God. For John's audience, this would have been an unmistakable reference to the Roman Empire and its imperial cult, particularly emperors like Nero or Domitian, who demanded worship. The 7 heads often symbolize the 7 hills of Rome, or a succession of emperors, while the 10 horns represent kings or rulers aligned with this oppressive power. The beast from the earth, or the false prophet, likely signifies the Roman imperial priesthood and propaganda machine, which coerced people into emperor worship, mimicking miracles to deceive. Numbers. Numbers in Revelation are rarely literal. They are pregnant with symbolic meaning. 7. This is the most prevalent number, representing completeness or perfection. We see 7 churches, 7 seals, 7 trumpets, 7 bowls, and 7 stars. It signifies divine order and the totality of God's plan. 4. Often linked to the earth or creation. 4 corners of the earth, 4 winds. The 4 living creatures, Revelation 4, likely represent all of creation worshiping God. 12. Signifies God's people, derived from the 12 tribes of Israel and the 12 apostles, 12,000 from each tribe, 144,000 total. This is not a literal count but a symbolic representation of the complete and faithful church, both Old and New Covenant believers. 666. 666. This infamous number of the beast, Revelation 13:18, is one of the most debated symbols. The most widely accepted interpretation points to gematria, where letters of a name are assigned numerical values. Many scholars believe it most likely refers to Nero Caesar, whose name, when transliterated into Hebrew and then assigned numerical values, adds up to 666. It symbolizes imperfect humanity, utter depravity, and defiance of God falling short of the divine number 7. It represents the ultimate in anti-divine power, not merely one man but a principle of rebellion. Colors. Colors too carry symbolic weight. White, purity, righteousness, victory, white robes, white horses. Red, blood, war, violence, divine wrath. Red dragon, red horse. Black, famine, death, sorrow. Black horse. Pale green, ashen. Sickness, death, pale horse. The whore of Babylon and the New Jerusalem. These two cities stand in stark contrast. The great prostitute or whore of Babylon, Revelation 17, vividly symbolizes the corrupt, idolatrous, and oppressive world system aligned with the beast. For John's audience, it would have immediately brought to mind Rome, the city on 7 hills, which intoxicated the nations with its luxury, power, and paganism. In stark opposition, the New Jerusalem, Revelation 21-22, represents the perfected, redeemed people of God, dwelling in eternal communion with Him. It is a city of light, purity, and life, where there is no more death or sorrow. It is not necessarily a literal city descending from the sky, but a symbolic portrayal of God's eternal dwelling with His people, a renewed creation. C. The hidden theological meaning, a symphony of sovereignty and hope. Beyond the vivid imagery, Revelation sings a profound theological song. Its primary message is not one of impending doom for the faithful, but rather the ultimate sovereignty of God and the triumphant victory of Christ. Despite appearances, despite the persecution and power of earthly empires, God is firmly on His throne. The Lamb who was slain is worthy to open the seals and orchestrate history towards His redemptive purposes. Revelation reveals that there is a cosmic battle raging, not merely against flesh and blood, but against spiritual forces of evil. Yet, even in the midst of this conflict, the church is called to endure, to remain faithful, and to resist compromise with the world's systems. The symbolism of the saints overcoming through the blood of the Lamb and the word of their testimony is a powerful reminder that their victory is secured through Christ's sacrifice. Furthermore, Revelation offers a profound vision of eschatological hope. It promises a future where justice prevails, where tears are wiped away, and where God dwells eternally with His people. It is a book designed to strengthen weary souls, to provide perspective on suffering, and to ignite fervent anticipation for the consummation of God's plan. It reassures believers that their temporary suffering pales in comparison to the eternal glory awaiting them. D. Controversies and theories. A spectrum of interpretation. The rich symbolism of Revelation has, inevitably, given rise to a spectrum of interpretations, often leading to passionate debate among scholars and believers. Preterism. This view holds that most of the prophecies in Revelation have already been fulfilled, primarily in the 1st century AD with the fall of Jerusalem in AD 70 and the persecution by the Roman Empire. Symbols like the beasts in Babylon are seen as directly referencing Rome. Historicism. This perspective views Revelation as a prophetic outline of church history from the 1st century until Christ's return. Various symbols are interpreted as representing specific historical events, figures, or periods throughout the ages. Futurism. This is arguably the most popular modern interpretation, especially in evangelical circles. It suggests that most of Revelation's prophecies, particularly from chapter 4 onward, are yet to be fulfilled and describe events immediately preceding and following the second coming of Christ. Symbols are seen as referring to future geopolitical powers, a literal antichrist, and a literal millennium. Idealism. Spiritualism. This approach understands Revelation as a symbolic portrayal of the ongoing spiritual conflict between good and evil, the triumph of Christ, and the ultimate vindication of the Church throughout history, without specific chronological or historical predictions. The symbols are seen as conveying timeless spiritual truths rather than concrete future events. Each approach brings its own insights, and each has its limitations. The key, perhaps, is to recognize that Revelation, while speaking to its immediate context, also transcends time, offering universal truths about God's character, human rebellion, and the ultimate victory of good over evil. The controversies highlight the complexity and the profound depth of a book that continues to challenge and inspire. Part 3. Conclusion. An eternal echo. As the last tendrils of candlelight waver, we are left with a deeper understanding of Revelation's profound tapestry. We have journeyed through its ancient context, deciphered its vivid language of beasts, numbers, and colors, and unearthed its powerful theological core. God's unwavering sovereignty, Christ's assured victory, and the enduring hope for his faithful people. Revelation is not a book to be feared, but one to be embraced for its message of ultimate hope and resilience. It reminds us that even in the face of overwhelming darkness, a new creation awaits, a new Jerusalem where every tear will be wiped away. What, then, does this cosmic drama whisper to your soul? How does it reshape your understanding of suffering, faith, and the future? Perhaps it calls you to gaze beyond the veil of present trials, to see the King on his throne, and to live with an expectant heart, anticipating the glorious echo of his eternal